Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well. Today I've got the ultimate farm girl build for you. I am a city girl, but I've always dreamt of living far away from civilization, not being near any other people. So today's build is going to have that self-sustaining, off-the-grid homestead vibe, where we grow our own food. There's a horse, chickens, and mini goats running around. We've got our own pond that we can fish from, and there's a stable attached to the main house. I've been addicted to building these little loft houses and loft apartments lately, so today's build is no different. It's just more of a rustic farm vibe. It only has one little bedroom upstairs in the loft and one bathroom. Most of its footprint is taken up by the garden, so it's perfect for a sim who has the loves the outdoors trait. I have no idea what you'd call this style. The roof tiles and the plaster stone walls kind of give Spanish, but I also kind of feel like there's some English country farmhouse vibe here as well. I have no idea. I just wanted to steer clear of doing too much timber, since my last video of our fairy treehouse build was like all timber with its log walls, and even the furniture was all timber. But as you can see, I'm still very much sticking to my favorite aesthetic, which is just a little rustic and cottagecore with a ton of plants and a ton of clutter everywhere. I really need to challenge myself one of these days and build like a modern family home or something. I need to make like a classic box house, especially now that we have the glass walls update. I think I need to just find a good reference photo and stop being scared of modernism and minimalism. Also, how would you even describe this interior decor? I have no idea. My thought process or backstory for this house and the girl who lives here is kind of like she's collected her possessions over the years from all different sources. Some stuff might be heirlooms, other stuff might be from thrift stores or markets. So everything's a bit mismatched. So you might see me go back and forth changing things as I go, just to make things look somewhat cohesive. Now, moving on to upstairs, this is where the bed and telly are going to go. I felt that it was a little too snug up here, so I ended up extending this loft a bit, and fortunately there was plenty of space to work with, and I think where the stairs got moved to actually ended up feeling a lot more balanced. The color palette began to feel more established around here. I was gravitating toward like medium neutral timber tones, as well as teal and pink for color accents. So even though our furniture and decor are mismatched, sticking to a consistent color palette really does help to make everything feel cohesive and harmonious. Also, you've probably noticed that this video is a little different to my usual videos, where I'm not building it live with you guys. So this build was actually for a sponsored video over on TikTok, which is very exciting, but I only needed a few seconds of footage for that, obviously, but I really wanted to get a full long form video out of this. So it was just easier for me to build the entire thing off camera and then record this voiceover separately. Also, it's just been kind of hectic in our household lately, and I just didn't really have the energy to get camera ready. So let me know in the comments what you think of this kind of build video. Just a little production note, hopefully this isn't getting too technical, but the way I've edited this video is a bit different as well. I basically just done it the way I edit my ASMR TikToks and shorts, which is literally only including all the little like the clicks and pops and the building sound effects, and just cutting out any other bits that don't have sound. So you won't see me scrolling the catalog or deliberating what should go where or anything like that in this video. All the kind of like thought process is taken out since I didn't record this build live. For TikToks and shorts, I also usually speed up the video, but for this YouTube long form, I decided to just keep it at its original speed, just so it's a bit more chill while still only having like the good bits, if that makes sense. So let me know what you think of this editing style for YouTube, if you think it's too fast or too slow, or just the right pace for a dopamine hit. It's kind of hard to see, but I think one of my favorite details from this bedroom is the little mug sitting on top of the pile of books. I think if I had tool mod, I would have done some more book stacks on the floor, although that might have hindered the gameplay. But if in doubt, just decorate with books everywhere. Books and plants. That's always my hot tip when you're building. There is a bit of a vintage vibe upstairs with the old-timey TV set, the trunk, and that grandma floral armchair. I think it kind of adds to the sense that a lot of her possessions were hand-me-downs, and I don't know, I always think vintage just adds so much charm and character, so can't go wrong in my opinion. So this is the horse stable attached to the house. I have no idea if this is accurate, no idea if this is a real thing. I just wanted it to be accessible from the house. I'm kind of in love with the horses in this game, even though I've literally never owned a horse and probably only ridden a horse like once in my entire life. But I just really like the idea of our horse practically living in our house. Back to the kitchen now. Because we moved that staircase, there is a bit of extra floor space in our kitchen, so I decided to do an island, except I didn't want to just do a matching built-in island counter thing. I feel like it's more of a rustic farmhouse thing to have a separate table as your island, and that table was just the correct height, and I was obsessed with that swatch with the scuff marks, so I decided to use that. I broke out the red shelf mod and scrolled through the catalogue to find stacks of plates and bowls and other items you'd reach for frequently in a kitchen, and just completely covered that top surface. This has got to be one of my favorite things to do in Sims building, just arranging a whole bunch of little items on a table or surface in a styled but messy way. I don't know why, I just find this process so satisfying. I think it's because I enjoy curating a bunch of matching items of all different shapes and sizes and then just composing them all in a way that still looks balanced. I'm probably thinking too deeply about this, but yeah, I don't know, I just love doing this kind of detailed cluttering. I figured that the island wouldn't even be functional for your Sims to prepare food on anyway, so may as well just throw all practicality out the window and completely clutter it up so it at least looks cute. Then I used the red shelf mod again for the bottom shelf, and I filled that one up with some larger items. Does anyone else always forget that hutches exist, or is that just me? I think it's because they're in a weird location in the catalog since they're not really functional, they're just decorative, but I really love this little blue hutch that we've done here. Maybe a little bit of an unconventional color, but it just fits the space so nicely. Oh my god, the kitchen rugs were such a struggle. You guys know I'm obsessed with layering multiple rugs, and I was so determined to do that here, but it was just not working. So I ended up just doing the one rug under the island, which is nice, but I still wish there were some more runners in this game. We need more rugs for hallways and kitchens in The Sims. Just putting the finishing touches on our downstairs now. We're continuing our bookish theme with a little bookcase here, and then I added a couple of stools around just to fill in the remaining empty spots in the living room. By the way, that little column I used to place clutter on the stool, it's another OMSP, One More Slot Please mod by Severinka on the Sims resource. It's an absolute game changer for decorating because it's got different heights for every piece of furniture you might want to place clutter on, so highly recommend. And then because I didn't have tool mod, I did this little hack where you delete the wall and freely place your mirror at your desired height using 0 and 9 on the keyboard, then you just add the wall back. If you're enjoying this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel and give this a like, and leave me a comment and let me know what you think of this build or what you think of this video style with the voiceover. Do you prefer this more relaxing style over the chaos of me building live and showing you all my mistakes and mess ups? I want to hear your thoughts. Okay, it's time for one of my signature low effort bathrooms. I've stuck with our vintage country theme with the tiles and the clawfoot tub, etc. I don't know why I'm so adverse to making fancy bathrooms. I occasionally do get inspired and will go all out on a bathroom, but in general I tend to keep it very simple and just do the bare minimum. I think it's because I just really despise every toilet in this game. You definitely need to download some custom content if you want to make a truly pretty bathroom, in my opinion. Time for the fun part, which is decorating our exterior. I've picked out some items from the Horse Ranch live edit menu, and then we're going to cover our house in flowers and vines and all that good stuff. I ended up raising the terrain under the house ever so slightly just to give our build a bit more dimension and realism, because I was planning on drawing some paths and adding a pond and a big garden, so I just didn't want it to look flat. So I had to raise the foundation of the house, then elevated the terrain, then just smoothed it all out. I had to sort of keep fiddling with the terraforming and flattening out and smoothing out sections as I progressed with the landscaping because plants kept on floating, and yeah, I didn't have tool mod to fix any of it. I forgot to hit record when I was drawing that path, but I end up deleting it and redoing it anyway, so not to worry. I found that wooden archway in the Horse Ranch live edit. I'm not entirely sure what it is. Like, is it the frame of a gate or something? I don't know, but I thought it would look good in our garden. It fills up some of the vertical space and makes the path look intentional. And I also just really enjoy the look of that kind of rough timber. It's always the little details and textures that step up the realism of a build. Speaking of textures, I also really like that I chose the white planters with the peeling paint. It adds such a nice little contrast and matches the white walls of the house. I'm also obsessed with the pond on our property. I added the fishing sign later so your sim can actually stock up the pond with fish and catch fish and be even more self-sufficient in this house. And also there is just nothing more idyllic than living near a body of water. As you can see, I'm just doing the terrain painting now. I always outline everything I place on grass with that dark brown muddy swatch. I think it just makes everything look a little bit more realistic, and I just like the look of the contrast. Raising the terrain reset the flooring in the stable, so I just had to redo the terrain painting in there as well. My intention for this house was to have a big fruit and veggie garden at the front, so I've added even more planters, then also just added those plots for your crops for a bit of variety. And of course, I needed to have a chicken coop. You guys know I'm obsessed with chickens and eggs. My family used to have chickens when I was a kid, and not exaggerating, it was the best thing ever. Once I did that, I just went ham placing plants everywhere. I've been talking way too much, so I'm just gonna let the landscape decorating speak for itself. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ASMR. And that's the completed build. I absolutely love the way this turned out. This is definitely one of those I wish it were real builds for me. Thank you so much for watching this video, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next video.